What's going on, Geeks? You're listening to episode 353 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name is Cody Armour. I'm here with Shelley Nollan.
Hello.
And Lj.Lowery.
Yo.
And this week, we're geeking out about video games with colors in the titles. And that's all you're getting for now. We'll explain in a minute. Wolverine and Twisted Metal. We'll first start with the games that we've been playing. Before we do that, actually, I'm going to be real quick on my D&D thing.
Oh, yeah.
It was our first real session.
Yeah.
And, I won't do one every month. We're going to be playing monthly. But very excited about it. It went really well. Everyone had a lot of fun, it seemed. I was crazy nervous. Rushed through a couple of things. So I ended up looking for my pacing a little bit, I noticed. But you're your own worst critic, and everyone seemed to love it. So I'm really hopeful for it. We had them all kind of drop into town. I know I told you guys this, but I don't know if the listeners have heard. And then told them that they had a job at a tavern, really cliche. And so they went and shopped around and did stuff in the town. And then when they were on their way to the tavern, I played on my phone this really loud like explosion happening, and shocked them all. And like the tavern's gone, and then kind of sent them through more of a linear dungeon from there. And they fought this crawler at the end, a carrion crawler, for those who know anything about D&D. And they talked the goblins into helping them fight the crawler. I got to meet my favorite. I guess this is another cliche thing, and I didn't know that, making goblins cute. Didn't know that was like something that a lot of people have done, but we found this adorable goblin on Etsy, and so his name was Soap. He was named Soap because he ate soap, because he thought it tastes like cilantro.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
That is so funny because cilantro is either people hate it or that's awesome.
That's I hate cilantro. It tastes like soap to me.
That's so meta. That's awesome. And
then he kind of talked like this the whole time. It was just, real adorable. He was a bard. It was great. So yeah, definitely a success, I think. And I'm excited to play more. They were like, can we do it every 3 weeks instead of once a month? And I was like, I don't plan. I don't know. Props to you DMs out there who prepare something every single week. It's a lot of work. It's a lot to get done in 7 days.
I try to play weekly. I'm used to weekly. I DM theoretically weekly, but lately it's been like, there's just been random like 2-week breaks because life gets busy, and that totally happens, right? But it's always funny where I'm just like, okay, cool, I have everything planned. We're ready for the week, and then one of my players is like, I can't make it this week. And I'm like, well, I guess we're waiting.
That was another reason I wanted to go to a month originally. And now I'm more grateful because it wasn't about the planning, but I'm so grateful for that planning time now. Was doing once a month. I was like, you guys have no excuse to miss. It was like, you have, you
get time to plan.
Yeah, you got a whole month to figure your day off.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're going to need a day off because it's, 6 hours of game time for us.
Right. Yeah.
Tons and tons of fun. I suppose, if we were to play more frequently, maybe I would play a little bit. Whether we do a little bit less, maybe it'll be a little more manageable. But, I am really enjoying DMing. I should say, too, I'm not DMing alone. My wife is DMing with me.
That's cool.
So I'm very much the, improv side of things and the make things work. And then she's the one with the numbers and the math and is doing the really logical stuff that I'm not as good at on the fly. My brain focusing is not a great thing for me.
Makes sense.
But yep, that's our D&D update, I guess, for me. LJ, what have you been playing?
I have been playing Final Fantasy 16 still. I really got a ton of time with it on Saturday. I knocked out another couple hours on that. I'm getting there. I'm making progress. I feel like I'm starting to get a little over the hump now. Like I'm finally I feel like I'm on a little roll whenever before I only had 10, 12 hours in it. But now I got plenty more. I'm enjoying it a lot. So good. That story is still going places that I never would have thought. And all good places so far. I like it. It's good. It's fun. I don't really know what else to say for now. But I'm going to keep playing. gonna keep playing more. It's super, super good. Very action heavy, but it was nice because like I felt like, you know, it's very much an action game. So, it gets accused for not being much of an RPG, but I'm like, I don't care. Like, this is a cinematic experience here.
It's so fun.
I'm fighting enemies. I'm doing my thing, but
so
I'm also getting to sit back and like watch some stuff happen. Like, so it felt really good. It felt like a good Saturday night chill game. Yeah, I've been playing that. I found myself getting back into this game randomly, but I got back into Brawlhalla.
Oh,
which is kind of a throwback for a lot of us.
Definitely.
I saw on Steam apparently I had a closed beta like badge for like avatar badge, and I was like, wow, that's how long ago we started playing that.
Yeah.
I guess it's feeling like I think with Smash, I guess there's so many people that are just so good at it. Like, when I try to play it online, I feel like I have no shot at Smash. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like that game's been around so long that there's just like such a skill ceiling I feel like I have to get to even like have fun at playing that game. Mm-hmm. And also when I play Smash like handheld or like on like not docked, it's terrible. Like, I feel like
definitely
it does not run well. It's not a great experience. Like, I'm not trying to knock Smash or anything, because it's the reason why games like Brawlhalla and like Multiverses exist. And I feel like Brawlhalla's gameplay also fills a multiverse, a void that Multiverses left, kind of. Like, it's very much like,
which you were really enjoying.
Yeah, and I dodge, and you know, it's got like the whole dodge mechanic. It's got like a good dodge mechanic that's very similar to Multiverses. I like the weapon system. But yeah, it's fun. I re-downloaded it on Steam, got it on, and I was like, oh, let me try this on my Steam Deck, and that's kind of what brought me back into it. Is I can, you know, it's got really good connection. Yeah. Ubisoft actually bought. I think the name of the devs is, I think it's like Blue Mammoth. I know we played against them. We played against them at PAX one time. One of the guys, when Shelley and I went, that was cool.
That was fun.
Yes, and so Ubisoft actually bought that company now. So you have characters like Ezio and Rayman in there that are actual characters.
So silly.
Yes, but then also you get like, they have a bunch of crossover, like, which are basically like skins, kind of. I bought Hellboy because I'm like, it's not every day like my boy like ends up in a video game.
Yeah.
But you also have Aang, Zuko, and somebody else. I can't remember who the third avatar. No, it's Toph.
Toph. That's
you have Aang, Zuko, and Toph. You can buy. They have the Ninja Turtles. You can get them. Who else? They have a couple others. Yeah. So and then they have some. I think they did a partnership.
Was Injustice or Mortal Kombat?
He was in Injustice. Yeah.
Injustice.
They have a few other partnerships they did with some like Cartoon Network stuff. Like, I think they got Ben 10. They got some Adventure Time characters. They got WWE like partnership, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. I haven't bought the Battle Pass yet. There's a Battle Pass now. I'm enjoying online. I've been playing online. There's one of the new characters because I bought the roster thing. I had it on my PlayStation. It's not like cross progression yet or anything yet. I think they said they're going to implement that this year. But one of my favorite characters I like, his name is Red Raptor, and he's like a Super Sentai, like Power Ranger style character.
Fun.
And so one of his weapons is like this like ball thing he carries, this like little tool he carries, and he can, one of his attacks is like forward B or forward smash, I guess you'd call it, is like he gets on a bike, like he morphs, like a bike spawns, and you can like run people off the map. His up and his down basically are like mech arms and legs like that he summons. Mm-hmm. And then his other weapon he uses is like a kung fu, like almost like martial arts style thing. He's such a fun character to play. I think that's the newest addition to the roster.
Heck yeah.
But I'm enjoying this game a lot. I'm like, man, like, I forgot how much fun this game was. But I'm playing 1v1 ranked. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's filling that void that like was left when Multiverses kind of like disappeared, because it wasn't feeling so good. Anyway, but yeah, no, I've been playing that a lot. Yeah, so that's what I've been up to.
Cool. What about you, Shelley?
I finished Final Fantasy 16.
Yes, I don't think you had finished it last time.
I was almost done last time because I finished it like the next day or the day after.
Yeah.
I really like that game. And I do think if I had to choose a game of the year so far, I think this beats out Tears of the Kingdom. Ooh. I think it's much shorter. There's less content. They're very different games. I think I even talked about this, that they are very different games. I think you can
beat it in like 45 hours, right? Final Fantasy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I beat it in, I think it was less than 50 hours, but it was like around 50, I think, for me. But I also did, all the side quests. I kind of took my time. I didn't like try to rush through it. And I think I will eventually platinum it, but it does involve beating the game again on New Game Plus on the hardest difficulty. But I think I might just save that for eventually whenever I get the itch to play it again, because I think I will get the itch to play it again. I kind of want to play Final Fantasy 15 again, which again, I think I mentioned last week.
On a hard mode will be really fun, I think.
I think so, yeah. I was always on action mode the whole time, which doesn't necessarily indicate, I think, how hard or easy it is. There's like action mode, or I think story mode, which I think makes it a little bit easier for you. And there's also certain items that give you like auto combos and things like that. And I never use any of those.
Me neither.
Yeah, I just did everything kind of myself, which was ideal for me, right?
I noticed they give you potions almost. I think no matter what mode you play it on, they give you like a small set of like potions when you do respawn, I think.
Yes, no matter what they give you more potions, which honestly is kind of nice because I'm not really one. I personally am not one who always loves a challenge or always love to just, get myself stuck in a situation where, I don't have enough potions, I don't have enough health, but I try really hard, but then I get hit once. Like, I'm not a Souls player, right? That's just not me. I know that for sure. Right. So
same.
For me, I kind of appreciate that. I kind of appreciate that they're like, they kind of help you a little bit. They're just like, hey, you died. You could do this. We're going to give you a little bit of health boost kind of thing. So I appreciate that. I know there's a lot of people who don't like the ending to the game. And obviously I'm not going to like spoil it or mention it, but I like the beginning of the game. I do not dislike it. I think I had even read reviews beforehand that people were like, it's as bad as like, they're like comparing it. I mean, everyone's been comparing this game to Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
They've even been comparing the ending with Game of Thrones. And to which I say, even if you don't like the ending, which is valid if you don't like the ending, I mean, I like the ending. I don't know why you wouldn't like the ending, but some people don't. And that's okay. But it is not nearly to the extent of Game of Thrones. I will say that absolutely. Like, no spoiler. Like, I think that's a very gross over exaggeration of the ending of this game.
Because that Game of Thrones ending, like, I've never seen Game of Thrones, but obviously that was super controversial.
Yeah, I like only watched the last episode. Like, I remember watching last episode with my friends who had been watching Game of Thrones the whole time and seeing their reactions were like so funny to me, and I thought, okay, and I had them explain to me why it's so bad, all this character assassination, things like that, and I'm like, okay, cool, yeah. So that's not what's happening here. And again, it's fine if you don't like the ending of this game, but I thought it was just such a beautiful game. There's so many amazing moments in it. I just really liked it, and again, it kind of feels like it's getting. I guess I don't know how the greater Final Fantasy community feels about it, but as someone who is newish, pretty new to Final Fantasy. I've only played 15 and 7 Remake. I think this one's my favorite. Again, that's only out of 3 games, but I just really, really liked it. I loved all the characters. I love the story. There are plot holes. There are like weird things that don't make a ton of sense. Like, it's not a perfect game. No, it's not. I understand that, but I had more fun throughout that entire like 50-hour some experience than I did with Tears of the Kingdom, just outright. Like, Tears of the Kingdom was long. I played for over 100 hours. There's so much content. It was really, really great in some places, but I was so frustrated and so mad at other places. And again, they're both really, really great games. You could argue 10 out of 10 for both, I think. But anyway, I just really, really like Final Fantasy 16.
At least from my experience, like, Final Fantasy 16 does not stop going. Like, that is a full 50 hours, like, from beginning to end. Like, you just...
Yeah, they don't spread thin. They don't spread thin. They lay it on thick the whole time.
You can do a few side quests in between and all that and do some hunts or whatever, but even then, it just feels like it moves at a clip.
And the hunts are fun. I did all the hunts. The hunts are fun. All the side quests are really good. Again, I had heard like reviews that people were like, oh, the side quests aren't very good. I'm like, well, maybe some of them aren't that good, but a lot of them are really good, especially once you get to the end. A lot of them are
there was an article that we saw, or that I saw, and I'm like, this is what we've been saying. Like, they're well written. Like, They may
I'm
be
like-
kind of basic on the surface, but they're so well written.
And definitely there were some I didn't care for, but a lot of them are so character-based. So there's some where you really care about the character you're helping, and then there's some that you really don't. And you can honestly just skip through as much as you want. And that's kind of what I would do, especially at the end. There are so many side quests right before the final mission that I would just linger on the side quests with characters I really cared about. But then with the characters I don't care about, or the situations I don't care about, you can literally just skip, like, all the dialogue, all the little cutscenes, all the, like, you can just skip that. And what's crazy about, I've been talking with my husband a lot about Breath of Fire 2 because I'm going to start playing Breath of Fire 2 because it's something he grew up playing and he was really passionate about. Actually, a small little plug, he's been remastering all the music from Breath of Fire 2. So if you go to Nolan Music on YouTube, that's his channel. He's been kind of working through the entire soundtrack. So if you like Breath of Fire 2, you should definitely check that out because he's been doing a really good job. It's like a summer project of his. But we're sort of comparing, like, old style JRPGs to a game like this, which, again, some people would not even argue as an RPG. I think it is. Whatever. I think it is. But it's fine if you don't, I suppose. But the side quests, for example, like, you actually don't have to pay attention to what they're saying. Like, you can if you want, but they'll still tell you, like, a marker. It'll give you a marker. It'll tell you what you need to do. The little side quest icon will tell you exactly where you need to go, what you need to be doing. So you don't actually need to, like, get any of that context from the conversation.
They're not difficult to find and do at all.
So it's like they're not hard to do. Whereas we were talking about how, like, in old style JRPGs, you actually do have to pay attention to the conversation happening, or else you're not going to have any idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing.
You restart after a few days of not playing, and you're like, "Where am I? What am I supposed to be doing?"
Exactly. So I would encourage that if you're not a fan of side quests, that just try them in this game anyway, because again, if you don't care about, like, what's happening, you can just skip through all the stuff, do the fun combat, and then you still get, like, experience or an item. There's this, like, fun, like, collectibles aspect of the game, too, where characters, if you, like, get close enough with them through side quests, will give you, like, an item that you can, like, hang up in your room, which is really cool. I really, really loved that part of the game. But yeah, it's all very cool.
That game rocked me in the feels so hard, and then, like, got better. I'm like, I don't want to play this game anymore. And then it kept going, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I got, like, yeah.
Yeah, it made me pretty emotional, especially at the end. I won't really say more than that, otherwise.
Like, I don't want to play this anymore. And then they're like, no, yes, you do.
Yeah, I really, really love that game, and I'll probably play it again eventually. I'll probably try to platinum it eventually, but as of right now, I need to work on my backlog. And play Breath of Fire 2, I suppose. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's been me.
Nice.
I really haven't done too much else. I played more Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm almost there. Doing the last thing that I have to do, I believe, to get done.
Cool. Yeah, it really does trick you. It's like you think you're almost there. You're like, oh, it's the end. And then it's like, no, it's not the end. Oh, it's the end. No, it's not quite the end. Like, just a couple things and then you're finally there.
So I'm almost there, I think. But I'm still having fun with it. It's good. I'm just trying to get done so I can play Final Fantasy 16 because it sounds fun.
Well. I think you'll love Final Fantasy 16. I think it's like right up your alley.
It looks
amazing. So good.
It looks very much like a Cody game. We can go from that and get into the gaming news, LJ.
Yeah, we got some fun gaming news this week. Last week was very meh. The first one that kind of caught me by surprise. I'm hopeful for it. People get scared when you say the words EA. But
I know I do.
EA is working on. They have a development team, a new dev team that is working on a Black Panther game. Which I think doing these Marvel games, like they're working on so they got Motive working on an Iron Man one.
They got the Wolverine one. That's going to be made by the same people by Insomniac, right?
Yeah. So, but this is EA. So EA has EA Motive. This one, it's a new studio called Cliffhanger. And I like this because they have...
what a terrible name for EA games who always makes half a game.
That's
they don't
funny.
do that anymore.
I never thought of that.
The stigma. Because a cliffhanger is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
EA's not really known for that anymore.
the lead guy on it worked for Monolith Productions, which is not Monolith Soft. That's Nintendo. They are known for the Shadow of Mordor games and numerous other games that came before it. Yes, and so they actually came from. So Monolith is working on the Wonder Woman game right now. It says they have talent that has worked on Shadow of Mordor, God of War, Halo Infinite, and Call of Duty, among others. Their team is still being assembled. I did air quotes for that one. So it's still early. It's still early in development. But yeah, I think to me, like, I don't know if you set it in Wakanda. I mean, obviously, like, you're gonna have to. I think it'd be cool to like get a fully realized Wakanda. I know we have that Captain America and Black Panther game coming up, but I feel like that's going to be a very linear action game. Mm-hmm. Having played like stuff like Shadow of War and all that, and like I feel like that combat, I mean, which is obviously inspired by like Batman combat. I think I enjoy what they did with those games, and I feel like it'd be so cool to like if they use that war system they did in like Shadow of War.
Yeah.
They can't do the Nemesis system because that's basically like patented and like only Monolith and WB. I think only Monolith Productions can only use that. So you can't do the Nemesis system. But if you take that core mechanic of like having your army go fight in like specific locations of Wakanda or defend Wakanda, basically, I think that'd be awesome. That'd be sick. Like fighting alongside the Dora Milaje or something like that. Or if you have some story missions where you might have to leave Wakanda for a minute or something. Like, I like that idea. And I also like EA slowly, rebuilding their single player library because like, Jedi Fallen Order was a big, I think, wake up for them. Then they did the Mass Effect remasters, but then they also did like Squadrons, which had a campaign that was not a multiplayer exclusive game, even though it has it. Then they got the Dead Space remake that they did. Like I like where this is going because they're not just the multiplayer game studio like they kind of wound up being in the microtransaction studio. I feel like they're kind of hopefully they're rebuilding a good reputation. So I think it's neat. I'm excited to see what the Iron Man game comes out to be as well.
Totally.
Because EA Motive knows flight mechanics, and so they can easily do Iron Man.
Oh, good point. Basically,
just shoot, make it, and give us the stuff from Anthem too. Give us those mechanics. But I think if you got in, I don't know. I feel like you have the right teams working on these Marvel games. So
cool.
Yeah, that's good news. I'm hyped for that. I'm excited. I'm optimistic. Let's see, and then the other news I'm gonna try and remain optimistic for, but there's been this has also come from a kind of a rocky position. The Red Dead Redemption remaster got leaked on a Korean ratings board, and the thing that has people very skeptical about this Red Dead Redemption remaster is that when the remasters for the Grand Theft Auto trilogy came out, those were really rough. I think they've been patched since then. I just re-downloaded 3 just to see for myself the other day on my Switch. But it was a big controversy about. There was so many issues, especially with like San Andreas. I think that's the one that got like people talking. But if they do this Red Dead Redemption remaster right and they do it well, I think it'll be really good. Just basically, they need to just put it in the Red Dead 2 engine and call it a day. I mean, you had the whole map from Red Dead 1 in Red Dead 2, so like you should be able to literally just remake that game in the Red Dead 2 engine. But yeah, I think that game in the Red Dead 2 engine, I think would be perfect. This is the same ratings board that the trilogy remaster got leaked. So it's looking pretty likely. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what becomes of that because I'm down for more Red Dead, like more Western stuff. So
yeah, It's crazy how, like, leakers have become so accurate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't think of how many times something's been leaked this year, whether I've seen it or not, from the leaks, but...
I mean, like the Persona stuff, like recently.
Exactly,
like...
yeah, and it's I'm so not used to leakers being accurate. Like, I think just for the longest time, every time I heard, like, oh, this got leaked, and I thought...
My theory is those are almost on purpose.
Yeah, but then...
Because we didn't know about the new IP at all, when they could have easily been like, hey, like, oh, there's this also a new leak for this new IP. Like, so...
No, it's true. That could be totally another aspect of it is... Are they allowing leakers to get them? Or are they
like I think Ubisoft every few years
totally.
Has something leak, and I also feel like those are on purpose.
It's just so weird. Like it's really changes announcements.
I mean, if you want buzz about your game, like sure, drop a nugget of news just to somebody, like, and let that go wild, and then your game's already got publicity before it even gets announced.
Yeah, I think the Persona 3 Reload is a really good example of that, where there were a lot of little bits and leaks of like screenshots or things like that nature leading up
there for a while. Yes.
Yeah, and then just the entire trailer got posted, and I feel like that has to be on purpose, right? It's like if you actually have someone internal posting it, it's not just straight from leakers. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
but it's just all a weird conversation.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about Wolverine in a little bit, and I think that kind of is like getting ahead of the curve. Like that probably would have gotten leaked or something, and so it's kind of like do it now before someone else does, kind of thing.
Well, yeah, and then the Spider-Man, that was like the worst kept secret ever, but it built up so much hype.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's almost like better to just, instead of letting someone like just like leak it yourself. But then you don't get these really well done, things get rushed out that way. So I don't know.
Yeah, pros and cons.
Who knows? But... I just hope that this remaster for Red Dead is decent. Like I hope they realize. I think it was
I want Red Dead 2,
remaster,
but it's Red Dead 1.
Yes, and that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I was saying a bit ago.
Final Fantasy 7 has me spoiled.
Yeah,
that's how remakes are done.
Yeah, and I think where Rockstar messed up is I think they outsourced those remakes or those ports. I mean, I guess they are remasters, remakes, whatever, of the GTA games. And I think they literally just took them in house and were like, "Oh, here, we're gonna fix these." And so I hope that they just maybe, while everybody's waiting for GTA 6, because that's like becoming one of the worst kept secrets right now too. And I hope like this maybe holds people over. So we'll have to see.
Cool.
Yeah. That's it for gaming news.
Well, we'll get into the movies then. I have not watched any movies, so go ahead, Shelley.
Well, I haven't seen anything new, but I am still very slowly working my way through the Harry Potter series again, and so we watched the 6th one. It's so funny because me and my husband are watching it, and the last one we watched was the 5th one, and we were hanging out with my sister, and she conveniently had also seen the 5th one most recently. So we're like, hey, let's just watch the 6th movie. And this movie is the first movie that I remember... Harry Potter movie, I guess I should specify, is the first Harry Potter movie I actually remember seeing in theaters. Like, I think I saw probably the 5th one as well, but I remember seeing the 6th one, and I just remembered just how funny it was. And I've seen this movie a million times, mind you, but it was just a good kind of reminder of that, how it's weird because it's definitely one of the most deviated from the books. And so, like, I was talking to one of my other friends recently how, the 6th book is her favorite. So the 6th movie is her least favorite because it's so different from the book. But for me personally, I mean, I don't know. I also really like the book and I really like the movie. I love the movie. It's just so, like, funny. They actually, like, tried to do jokes and things, and it actually pays off. And there's a lot of little moments where you're like, yeah, these 3 characters, like Harry, Ron, and Hermione, are actually, like, best friends. And it just feels... you actually feel that. I don't know. Sometimes in the other movies, at least, again, sort of separating from the books, sometimes in the other movies, I kind of think, are they really all best friends? Like, they don't really always do best friend things. They don't always, like, interact in the way that they're all just teenagers.
Yeah, because by then you think they would, you'd see that connection, yeah.
But this one, I don't know what it was, but just, I thought the direction was really good in that way. But anyway, that's just I'm always watching Harry Potter, right? So it's not really anything new or interesting. But, we'll watch the 7 part 1 and part 2 eventually, and then we'll have watched it through again.
Sweet.
LJ, did you see any movies this week?
Yes, I watched the new Indiana Jones movie.
Ooh.
Oh, how was that?
I went to the theater yesterday afternoon. I had some time. I was like, you know what? I figure if this is going to be his last time wearing the fedora, I better go see it. I liked it. It's very divisive right now. There's some people that enjoy it. Some people hate it. They could have done they could have done the thing where they could have hammered so much fan service into the audience, like, you know, just like
pretty easily
shoved it down your throat. Yeah. And they kind of didn't. Like, it's still kind of its own movie.
Okay, that's
it does
good.
It does feel like a send off, but it also does does feel like its own movie. They do have a few nods in there. And so, but which is fine. Like, it feels like you still made your own movie. You still made the movie you wanted to make, but also still did the thing that people probably wanted. So every movie's got a big thing, right? I don't know if a twist is the right word, but there's just always something unique, like towards the end of those
big moments.
Indiana Jones movies. Yeah.
So
it's being compared. So the big thing that ends up going down with, you know, the artifact or whatever, it's kind of par for the course for these movies, is being compared to Crystal Skull's twist. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's much more fitting for Indiana Jones as a whole. I think it's much more fitting for the franchise. It is still a bit, you know, out there. But I think it's fitting. I think it's totally fitting. And if y'all ever end up watching it, y'all will see what I mean. It's probably it'll end up on Disney Plus in a few months here, I'm sure.
Right, yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I didn't hate any of the characters. Like, there are new characters that they're introducing, and then everybody's like, oh, well, you could have just replaced this person with, like, Short Round or something, right? Like, and I'm just like, no, like, these characters aren't really that bad. It definitely feels like Indiana Jones in a new era, because, you know, he's older now, so there's, you know, it's him being in an element that he's not used to or he's not comfortable with. And I think that was good. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was perfectly fine. Like, it's not like an amazing movie, but I feel like it's what you go to an Indiana Jones movie to see. You go for the fun, you go for the action. The set pieces, especially like in the first, I mean, I guess throughout the whole movie, like the set pieces and the scenes they set up are so well done. Like, those are so Indiana Jones that like you just can't, like, yeah, I don't see any other way of like describing it. I think it's fun, so it's definitely worth a watch if you don't plan to go out and watch it in theaters. Check it out on Disney Plus. It's a fun watch.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into the movie news then. Shelley, what's going on?
We just got 2 things. So the first thing, you may have already seen sort of images online for this, but we are seeing Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in his classic comic outfit.
Yes.
The bright yellow, which looks so fun, next to, of course, the Deadpool classic red suit, which we're obviously used to. He's been wearing that suit, but it's very fun. It's very iconic. It's crazy how Wolverine's been around for so long, and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine has, you know, been introduced, been an icon, and then been essentially retired. So he's like coming back from retirement just for this movie, it feels like.
To be in uniform.
But it's crazy that he was never really in that suit.
There's a deleted scene in the Samurai movie. I can't remember. Logan 2. I don't remember what it's called. Or Wolverine 2. Where he, like, sees the suit in a suitcase. And we've never seen it on him.
Bro. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's like, he was popular during that era where there were lots of those superhero movies before they became, like, their own subgenres and their own thing, right? Where it was just superhero movies, and that was the genre. And there was kind of this idea that comic book suits were way too cheesy, way too, like, you gotta make we're making these live action movies, and they gotta be serious, and they gotta be, You know, they weren't necessarily always very fun. They were trying to be serious and ended up trying to be fun, right, is the hope. But point is, they never really wore those like crazy comic suits. And I think
like early MCU.
Exactly, yeah. It like really took a turn recently. I think in the last couple of years that finally these original suits are sort of coming back in style, which I think is actually good. Actually, you know,
I think the goofiest one was Captain America's in like Avengers or something. You know, like
that
was like one of the.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Thor just got his helmet in his third movie.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? There's some characters where I'm just like, man, I can't even recognize you without your costume. Right. I don't even recognize you without your outfit. I still kind of get sad that Hawkeye never donned his Hawkeye outfit.
I know.
Among other
got
things,
the Ronin
right?
outfit, but
yeah, you got that. But I don't know. I think it's really fun that they're sort of bringing it back, and I'm sure probably a lot of it is sort of like nostalgia factor. But I think it's fun that they're just trying to embrace the cheese, right? We're kind of trying to make superhero movies fun again, and like some of that fun is that cheese. So is that cheese that comes with a stupid outfit?
Whoever made Deadpool's suit made Wolverine's suit in this. Like they're so similar.
It's true.
I really just hope that Deadpool's like, put this on. And he's like, absolutely not. And it just cuts to them wearing it.
And then it just cuts to them wearing it.
Yeah.
I can totally see that. That'd be really fun.
I'm ready for this buddy cop movie. A space buddy cop.
We were talking about stuff like, Daredevil's costume from like the movie, that movie. It was still that like
biker
like
leather with a
jumpsuit,
helmet
like
on.
biker thing. I mean, that was like the X-Men like look. They even made a joke in X-Men like, oh, yellow spandex, you want to wear that? Like
blue accents, not too bad.
They almost made this approach to where everything they're wearing still looks like, now it looks like armor, but it still looks like their costumes. It almost reminds me of like when the Batman Arkham Asylum game came out. Like Batman still had his like the undies, the black and gray, whatever, but his was actually like armor, like you could see it, and so I think like it's kind of cool that approach has been taken for most of most costumes these days.
Yeah, I think it's fun, and we kind of mentioned this before too, but it seems like one of the few like superheroes we could think of that like kept their iconic outfit was Spider-Man.
Yeah, he always had his
and I feel like with some of the like I think of like Andrew Garfield era, I feel like they kind of tried to make it like edgier. They kind of
like
tried to make
sunglass
it
lenses
more...
and
which was
the sneakers
kind
and
of
stuff.
Totally. Which just honestly, it was kind of fun in its own way. But
and then in the second one, they totally were just like, oh, whatever. Let's give him his regular costume. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
If you go back to speaking of like Spider-Man, I was just thinking about there's that tease at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think it is, the Rhino, and he's got this big metal thing, and it's like it couldn't just be the Rhino, but now you have this Kraven. Is it Kraven? Is that his name?
Yeah, it's Kraven. Yeah,
and the Rhino is literally gonna be a rhino.
The trailer, yeah,
his like skin's changing in the trailer.
I will say, because of technology, they definitely can make this stuff look less cheesy. Which,
that's true.
Like,
but that's a really good example of like back then it was like, oh, we can't just make him be a human rhino. That would be ridiculous. It's got to be this like realistic metal machine for it to work properly, or it'll be too cheesy. And now we're like, no, just make it a rhino person. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that's all very fun. So we'll be seeing that in Deadpool 3. The other thing we're going to talk about, kind of shifting huge gear here, is the Napoleon movie that is starring Joaquin Phoenix, and it's from Ridley Scott. Yeah. And it's going to be the next epic. It's going to be big, it's going to be crazy, it's going to be all these, lots of war, obviously. Like, you can't really talk about Napoleon without war.
I was saying before the podcast, I can't think of the last time we've had, like, an epic like this. Like, I mean, we've had, like, the superhero movies and stuff do their big events, which you could consider that, like, similar, but we haven't had, like, a Troy or, like, a Braveheart, or, heck, even it's Ridley Scott, or a Gladiator. I don't think we really have had a movie like this in a while. It's like a historical epic, that I'm looking forward to it, because I'm like, oh, this actually looks really good. I feel like I haven't seen a movie like this in a while.
We're talking about MCU. I want, we were talking about this before the podcast, I want to reiterate, want like a Thor 4, because Chris Hemsworth's mentioned that he kind of wants this too. He wants it to be a little bit more grounded. He wants it to be a little bit more Norse. And it would be so perfect to like a Ridley Scott, not the sci-fi side of it, but the epic side of it, and just made. And he's perfect for it because he has that sci-fi background too. Ridley Scott could kill a like Norse epic about Thor, magical powers,
especially if it was a prequel. I think.
Yeah, I mean either way. Chris has
not even tied to the MCU
he wants to die
or anything. Like,
he wants himself to die and it be this big tragedy and like.
That could work.
Yeah, but the villain just be this like other alien Norse thing, or maybe the Frost Giants, or whatever you want to do, and just make it super Viking. I'm all for it.
Yes,
that would be awesome.
Cool.
We don't have a good Viking epic yet. Just throwing that out there. I thought that not Barbarian. What was that movie called? The Viking guy. It was weird. Came after the Green Knight.
Oh, I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I don't
The
remember.
Northman.
That's what I thought it was going to be, and it wasn't. And
The Northman. I bought The Northman, and I haven't watched it yet.
The Northman.
Yes, that's
yeah,
what you're talking
the Northman.
Yep.
We need a Viking. It's due time for a good like Viking epic. I'm a little on brand, I guess, for myself.
Yeah,
Beard
checks
and long
out.
hair, and I'm like, I need Viking stuff.
Checks out.
Inject it into my veins, he says. Let's go.
The one thing I will say about Napoleon as well is that it's falling from the Les Mis syndrome of they're supposed to be French and they're all British accents.
British accent.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's something I always make fun of in like watching the Les Miserables movie. Whenever they're talking, it's like British and it's
like
the same
Gladiator.
thing. I just think it's funny.
So yeah. So you know what I would really love, which they do this really well in a show that I'm going to be talking about. So in the show Warrior that I watch,
Yeah,
you can hear them like speaking like their native language, but then like as they're talking, they'll transition into English. So it's almost like it's being just translated for you. Like if they somehow like did that, like I think if they figured out a way to convey that kind of stuff in movies like that, they could be like, sure, you don't necessarily need like, I mean, obviously they still have accents, but it's like, I don't know. Like, if they had some way to, obviously, sure, if you want to do it in the native language as an alternative.
The Vikings
but...
TV show does that. They speak in, like, Old Norse, and then it'll, like, go back to someone responding, and then it'll be in English.
Yes. It, like, transitioned, like, almost seamlessly, like, as these two characters were talking in Warrior. So, like, if they find a way to do that in more stuff like this, I think that would be more acceptable, because it's like,
that'd be awesome.
You're just listening so you can understand what's going on, instead of like, oh, yeah, we're all British. Like, you know, like...
Yeah, it's, it reminds me of the newest West Side Story. Kind of does that too with Spanish. They kind of like go from Spanish to English to Spanish, like super fluidly as someone who speaks very little Spanish. I was like, whoa, this is like seamless. I love it. Very similar.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. That is our movie news though.
Cool. We'll get into TV then. I was preparing a D&D thing. I haven't done anything. Go ahead, fine. LJ.
Yeah, I guess it works out then, since I was talking about that show. But yeah, one of my favorite shows, like I got caught up on in the last couple of years was Warrior. Again, it was one of the shows that was on Cinemax when I guess apparently HBO bought out Cinemax at some point, and so I watched a couple seasons because they popped them up on HBO Max when HBO Max became a thing. And so I was excited when I found out, like they saved this show. And so they had the new season come out, produced by Bruce Lee's daughter, which is cool. Like, she's a big part of it. Like I said last week, it's this original idea he always had. They put out the first 3 episodes of the new season, and I'm just like, I'm here for it. It's very much wants me to... this is why I'm also kind of excited for a Red Dead remaster, because it puts it, like, it's that Western era, but then it's also set in, like, Chinatown in San Francisco. In that time period, you have, all the stuff that's happening in Chinatown, and then all the stuff happening around it. There's like these Irishmen, it's, when Irishmen were fighting to, be, in the workforce more and stuff like that, they had their own kind of revolution going on at the time too. Mm-hmm. It's almost very like, I hate to make this comparison just because like everybody's doing it now, but you have the political, like, drama and intrigue along with like the action and the all that stuff, but watching these scenes and watching the choreography of these fights is like so cool. It gives me everything I want, like, in a show. It's fun though. I like it. If somebody's looking for something to binge, I feel like this would be a good show to do that, especially since there's a few seasons out now. Super fun show. And then the other thing, I guess Secret Invasion. I'm probably the most caught up. Didn't you say you were behind on it, Cody?
I'm behind an episode. Yes.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I'm liking it. Still, I really don't know how a lot of people. I guess I haven't really paid attention to how people are really feeling about it. I don't have any problems with it yet, though. They are going into some interesting things that I'm like, oh, okay, you're doing this. Like basically, what little knowledge I have from comic book stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. And then lastly, I do want to give a shout out to One Piece because they put the whole dub and a few new set of episodes on Crunchyroll now.
Very good.
So it's weird because the way I've consumed One Piece is I watched part of the original Japanese language, right? I watched that in subtitles. I read a good chunk of the manga, and then when I found out that the dub was coming out, when the dub came out, I was like, oh, cool. Let me just start from where I left off in the manga. And so it turns out I'm already almost like a whole arc, like done.
Oh, sweet.
But it's just kind of interesting. I'm just like, the way I've consumed this show, like I've consumed it 3 different ways, or I've consumed like One Piece as like a media 3 different ways at this point. And I'm like, I kind of like it. Like if I end up like watching some episodes and just finding out where the manga is, like I'll, read some of that. Because I like reading the manga too, because it just adds so much more context. So I'm like, I don't know. I might just consume like both as I keep going. Like if I want to watch a few episodes of the show, I'll probably do that. And then if I want to read some of it, I'll probably read that. I feel like that's just a better way for me to digest everything, like especially when I'm away from my television. So I don't have to necessarily watch 1,000 episodes of an anime.
Yeah.
So I might try that and see how it goes. But other than that, if you want to watch this show, you can. I think they did this obviously because the Netflix thing is coming out like very soon. So, yeah. So the time is now.
Cool. We will get into the TV news then. A couple things here. I think this is actually really cool. I'm not super excited about One Piece, the Netflix show, but they are getting the original Japanese cast to return for the Japanese dub of the show.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
I think, yeah.
I
geeked
get
out.
Any closer to the source material than that.
Yes, and I geeked out because they had this whole video. I saw a part of it on TikTok, and then I saw more of it later. But he, the lead actor that plays Luffy, he got to meet the original voice, the voice actress that plays Luffy. And it was this really wholesome meetup. Like, she gave him this straw hat and basically, like, knighted him. Like... And it was neat. And then, like, because they had this, like, I don't know if it was, like, a special or, like, a video or something that Netflix did. But basically, they basically showed that video to, like, the rest of the cast. And they're like, oh, like, that's so cool. Like, it was a very wholesome video.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
It's just, I'm hoping the show is good and fun. And I still think that it's neat that, like, it seems like it's getting some love, even though it is an adaptation. It's getting more love, like more respect, I guess, than any other anime adaptation has had.
They're doing it with a lot of love. I agree. For sure. They're making it with love.
And I feel like if this is the show you're going to do that, if this is the property you're going to do that with, then you better, because it's like,
yes,
One Piece is easily the biggest show in Japan, like ever. Like it's a primetime television show that the whole family is watching, basically.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I just think this is. If this is a show that you're going to, you don't necessarily have to get every bit right, but if you're going to get it to a point where people can appreciate it, even though like it is what it is, then I think to me that's the goal. So,
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
The other piece of news is Twisted Metal has got another trailer. I'm just keeping my eye on this. I really didn't know what to think, and I think this trailer probably does a pretty good job of telling you what the show is going to be. And I might check it out. It seems fun.
I already have Peacock anyway, so like...
There you go.
I'm just gonna... Yeah. It looks stupid in like a good way. Like,
It's
like
doing
so
a lot of good nods
you
to
wanna
the
laugh.
video games. There's a joke about, getting a wish.
Yep.
Which is very Twisted Metal. The setting seems to work well enough for this post-apocalyptic world.
They do make a joke about toilet paper, which can be I don't know if some people might consider that insensitive, because I don't know if... You can't really tie that to the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
But maybe you could, I guess.
It is the end of the world. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, so... I'm like, yeah, there's a toilet paper joke in there.
It looks like it could be fun if it's not over the top cheesy the whole time.
Like, ultra dumb. Like, whenever you see the words, from the creators of Deadpool and Zombieland, and watch that trailer, then you go, okay, yeah, it definitely is. Like, it really is.
I get it.
We haven't seen a lot of the car combat yet, and it's such a weird thing to say, but I think it really kind of rides on, pun intended, the budget of those car fight scenes. Like, if those look good and look fun, I think the humor isn't enough to carry the show, but it's enough to make the show interesting.
Yeah.
No.
Well, looks like dumb fun.
Yeah. If it's got like a high budget in those car fight scenes, this could be cool. That's where I end on that, and that's where we'll end the TV news. Are we getting out about anything else this week?
I think that's it.
I just want to mention I finally finished Rhythm of War.
Nice.
It took me so long, but finally, I was on vacation this last week, and there was just a lot of time to listen to audiobook or read or just read the physical book, and I finally finished it, and it was definitely good. It's definitely a good book. I just wish I liked it more. It's definitely the weakest of the Stormlight books, in my opinion.
That's rough.
It is just, it's kind of a rough read, I'm not gonna lie. And I won't say like why, but usually these types of books, it's kind of like almost set up for the very end of the book, and then the book can have this really cool climactic ending. And this book, it did, but it almost still just felt like mostly just set up for the next book. I don't know how many hours I ended up reading this, right? It's a huge book. But let's just say the first almost 1,000 pages are just set up for the last 100 to 200 pages, however long it is. And, that last bit's really good. The first bit is not amazing, in my opinion. But then even the last bit still isn't that good in comparison to the other books in the ways that they end and set up for the next book. So, I don't know. Obviously, I'm glad I read it, and I was going to read it anyway, and I'm so excited for the next book. But I'm just kind of like, man, I spent so many hours on this book, and I just wish I enjoyed it more. A lot of times, it kind of felt like a chore to get through. But anyway, I did finish it though, and so now I'm free. I can read other books.
Nice.
Really, every once in a while, I'm like, I kind of feel like I should be reading something. Oh wait, I technically am reading Rhythm of War. Oh man, So now I can finally move on. Because
the physical books are half off right now on Amazon.
Get them. Definitely worth it.
I don't do audiobooks anymore since I don't work in an environment where I can do that.
Right.
So my dilemma is, do I get them digital and read them on my phone, or actually get the physical book, because I like physical books.
Mm-hmm.
More than, they're $20 per book right now, because
that is a good deal.
I still need to finish Oathbringer, and then I might as well get Rhythm of War while I'm at it. So.
Yeah, I think Oathbringer is still my favorite out of the 4 so far. Rhythm of War is definitely worth reading, but I just wish I liked it more. But that's me. That's it.
That's kind of sad to me.
I know. I know that's discouraging probably, but you should read it. It's
yes,
definitely worth it. It's just in comparison to the other books, I guess is what I should say.
A not so great Sanderson book is probably still a good Sanderson book, to be honest.
Yes, definitely.
Wow, interesting.
Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to mention that.
We will end the podcast there then. LJ, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and Twitch at LJ the Paladin.
And Shelley?
You can find me on Twitter at TheShellshock24.
And you can find me on Instagram and Thread, I guess.
I was gonna say, y'all hopping on the Thread train?
I guess.
Not me.
I have it. I don't know how well. if you tag me in it, I will respond. Do you tag? I don't even know how it works. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.